Today, I'm going to be making silo cookies. These are from Magnolia Table Cookbook, a collection of recipes for gathering, volume 2 by Joanna Gaines. She says the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350, and then you want to line 2 cookie sheets with parchment paper. I use the Reynolds when I'm going to make cookies. I use these cookie baking sheets because they're already cut. You get 25 in here and it makes it a lot easier. So now we're going to go over all of our ingredients. The first thing you need is 2 sticks of unsalted butter at room temperature, 1 cup of light brown sugar, 3/4 cup granulated sugar, 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1½ cups rolled oats, 1½ cups semi-sweet chocolate chips, 1½ cups peanut butter chips, and ½ cup chopped walnuts. So the first thing you want to do is in your stand mixer, you want to cream together your brown sugar, your granulated sugar, and your butter until they are fluffy. Want to add your eggs one at a time, and once they're added and mixed in, you want to add in your vanilla. Now we're going to take our flour, baking soda, and salt and whisk this together. And then we're going to add this to the mixture in our KitchenAid. Okay, now our directions say to add the oats, chocolate chips, peanut butter chips, and walnuts until it's incorporated. Probably about 20 seconds is what it says. Oop, I just dropped a dollop. There we go. That is a very thick, very thick mixture. Look at that. Okay, I've come over to the table. It says to use a 2-inch cookie scoop. Let me move this one out of the way. It says to use a 2-inch cookie scoop. So I don't know how big this one is, but we're gonna put balls of our dough on here. And then this makes 18 cookies. So I'm assuming these are good size cookies. And then once I get them all on this parchment paper, we're gonna refrigerate this for ½ an hour. So that'll keep your cookies from melting into a big puddle when you bake them. So really, I know the directions, the first set of directions said to preheat your oven. If you're gonna be putting this in the refrigerator for ½ an hour. So I followed the directions and I preheated my oven just like you would, but you don't need to because really you're using all that energy for nothing right now because you're not gonna have anything in the oven for a while. So I would wait until these had about 10 minutes left in the refrigerator till you got maybe to the 20-minute point, and then I would turn my oven on. gonna put these in the refrigerator for half an hour. I'm also gonna put, I still have a lot of dough left. I'm gonna put that in the refrigerator as well, so that it will be cold while we're waiting on these. These have been in the refrigerator for half an hour. While these are baking this set, I'm gonna leave the other set in the refrigerator until I need them. You want to bake these between 13 and 15 minutes. I'm gonna go set my timer for 14 minutes, but then when they come out of the oven, I'll let you know the total time I left them. This is what the cookies look like after 14 minutes. I went right in the middle and I think they look really good. I've already switched, took this pan out, I put my other one in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move these over to a cooling rack. That way I can fill this parchment paper up, and you can reuse these parchment paper sheets, but I can fill it up again with the next set of cookies. I did take this out of the refrigerator because just a few minutes ago, because I realized I don't want it to be too hard to scoop it out. And I will warn you right now, this stuff is like crack. Like, you can eat this stuff out of the bowl just like it is without baking it, and it's absolutely fantastic. You won't want to stop eating it once you start. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill up my next tray, and I'm going to keep going, and then we'll try them when they're all baked. So the last batch that I made sure that I made them a lot bigger, because you were only supposed to get 18 cookies, and I got a lot more than 18 cookies. I got like 28 cookies total. So I made the last batch a lot bigger. But Kevin and I are going to be trying some from the first batch while these sit and cool. But this is probably more the size that you're looking for. So Joanna says, the credit for this recipe really belongs to Chip and the kids. They each have a different favorite cookie, so one day I dumped in everyone's must-have ingredient. Nuts for Chip, peanut butter for the girls, and chocolate for the boys. It was a complete win across the board, so it became our family's signature cookie and the first item on the menu when we opened Silo's Baking Company. So it says that on this recipe. It's served at Silo's Baking Company in Waco, Texas. From her description, I have a recipe on the channel called cabinet cookies, or Tammy's cabinet cookies. The reason I called them cabinet cookies is because I'm using up everything out of the cabinet. So whether she kind of did what she did, except she was doing it for each person, to put a little love for each person. I was doing it just to use what I had in the cabinet, so that
get rid of leftovers.
Get rid of it, yeah.
Because you usually end up with a little bit of chocolate chips, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, you end up with all these little bags, or M&Ms or whatever, these little bags, and it's like, this is a way to use up all that stuff. So I've got a recipe kind of like that, and you can pretty much do whatever you want. So did you have that?
I did. You can eat that or whatever.
It's a big cookie, and these were from the first batch.
And they're still slightly warm. So what kind of nuts is that in it? Walnuts? Because I got a piece of the walnut in there. It's a really good flavor.
That has a terrific texture.
Chocolate chips.
That's literally like store-bought. I mean, like, not even store-bought. Like bakery cookies.
Yeah, those are really good. They look like the bakery cookies.
Did you get salt?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit of salt in there, which I always love cookies with a little salt. I like pretty much anything with just a touch of salt. It's good. I like the oats adds a different texture too. So it's not just a pure, like, really soft chocolate chip, or just a regular chocolate chip cookie or whatever. It adds some chewy texture to it, the oats do. And then you got all those different flavors mixing together really nicely. It's really good. I like it.
Look at all that ooey gooey.
I know, there's tons of chocolate in there. Well, I got a big hunk of like 4 chips in a row.
She said to use semi-sweet chocolate chips. I didn't say anything when I was showing you the ingredients, but I had a bag, one of those little bags up in the cabinet, of some semi-sweet chocolate chunks, or the little squares. So I used those. I think I had half a cup of those left, and then the rest of the cup was the chips. So when you see those bigger chunks, it is
morsels.
It's those they're called chunks, yeah. So I used both. I really like the chunks. Also, I've noticed about several of her baking recipes now, she actually has you use kosher salt. So a lot of recipes just call for regular salt, just plain salt. I think that kosher salt does make a difference.
It's bigger. Yeah, so you
And
actually
you really
get the flavor
taste
of it.
it. Yes, you can taste it, and it goes terrific with anything sweet.
It's a stronger flavor. You could probably use the salt flakes too. Like
You
the
probably
flake
could.
salt.
Yeah,
You
the
could probably use
Walden
that.
salt.
That's some
Yeah,
good
you
salt
probably
too.
could. I was concerned that with these bake right, because you're putting literally a cup and a half of chocolate chips, a cup and a half of the peanut butter, and they cooked perfectly. They're absolutely wonderful, and you really do taste the chocolate and the peanut butter.
Oh yeah, yeah. It really just depends on the bite you get. But
Yes.
yeah, some bites you get a lot of the walnut. You know, it just depends on what you get.
If you have anybody in your family with an allergy to walnuts, we do, Andrew. You could always use pecans. I think pecans would be terrific in this.
Yeah, because those don't seem to bother them.
No, I think if you
Or leave
like,
those out completely and put M&M candy pieces
you
in there. or something
could.
if
It's
you
so
want to.
yeah. So definitely, this is like my recipe. Like I said with the cabinet cookies, you can absolutely substitute
White chips.
butterscotch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
you could really substitute anything and use the same basic recipe, and it's going to work great. And if you don't have unsalted butter, you can use regular butter. It's not going to matter
Make
at
a
all.
saltier cookie.
Yes, you can use. Well, I wasn't going to say, but we only had. You had to use 2 sticks of unsalted. I only had 1 stick of unsalted. So I used 1 stick of regular and 1 stick of unsalted. Didn't make any difference at all.
Like I said, the salt might come a little stronger, but I like salt, so it don't matter.
So these are delicious cookies. I would be happy to make these as a gift for anybody, or make them for just to enjoy around the house.
Very good.
But I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.